Hello folks, welcome back to The Slice. We are back in Canada instead of Miami after an awesome time in Miami at the Open. So thanks to the Miami Open for giving us a media pass to come cover the tournament. You can check out all of our coverage on the YouTube page. Obviously, we got a couple more videos coming out as well from the tournament. But we had such a good time down there. But now we're in Canada, but we're still checking back in on the Miami Open because Novak Djokovic lost to Roberto Bautista Agut for the second time in 2019. So I'm going to check in and see why that happened, or let you know why I think that happened. We're also going to look at Federer beating Medvedev in clean, crisp fashion. And we're going to look at the matchups of the quarterfinals in the Miami Open. So there's lots to get into in this episode from Canada on the Miami Open. So let's get into it.
Hey guys, Kevin Anderson, and welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Oh, baby, it's good to be back in Canada, but I'm missing the Miami Open already. It was an awesome time. I mean, I know you already saw it, but this is it's probably not in focus, but this is my credential. Awesome to get there. I got to talk to all the pros. I literally talked to Federer, Djokovic, asked them questions. Shapovalov, Felix Auger-Aliassime, Nick Kyrgios, interviewed him. It was unbelievable. So stay tuned, subscribe to The Slice to make sure you don't miss any of that content that's coming out. Also, sign up for Front Row because that's where it gets real deep into the DMs. You can, talk with me more about, what you want to see on that show and on The Slice in general, and just help support me make this better and go to more tournaments like the Miami Open. But at the Miami Open, Novak Djokovic lost yesterday to Bautista Agut. I checked in and it was like 6-1 Djokovic. I was like, okay, he's rolling now. But then I checked back in and watched the second part of the match, and things had changed a lot. So here's what I saw in that matchup. And this is why I think Djokovic started out well and then turned around and ended up losing. Djokovic in total had 25 winners and 31 unforced errors. That doesn't seem very Djokovic-like, does it? I think in some of those matches in the Australian Open, he had like 8 unenforced errors in a 5-set match. So pretty crazy to see that. Bautista Agut was actually in a similar ratio there, but the similarities that I saw in this match to the match in Doha when Bautista Agut beat Djokovic were pretty striking. What Djokovic normally does to beat players is he's consistent, his defense makes people overplay, and he's just relentless with his shot making. He's always balanced. He can get to every single shot and just hit winners in passing shots and anything from anywhere in the court. And it makes you so uncomfortable that you start playing weird, or not me, me, but it makes his opponents play not their best, and he does that relentlessly to people. What I saw Bautista Agut do after the first set, he became a wall. He became a brick wall, a counter-punching wall, though. So he started playing very Djokovic-like, which I said he did in the match in Doha. He started playing a lot more consistent, but also aggressive. Whenever Djokovic gave him pace, he used that pace and directed it well to hurt Djokovic, who didn't seem totally on his game. In that sense, it almost seemed like he lost a bit of focus after the 6-1 first set, which happens, which you see. But then, as Bautista Agut won the second set, and then it was a close third set as well. And then Bautista Agut just stepped up in the big moments and just didn't miss. He refused to miss in those moments. And Djokovic was kind of, instead of being the aggressor like we saw in the Australian Open, a lot of those matches, he was kind of waiting for Bautista Agut to miss like he usually makes all these other players do it, but he just wouldn't. And then on the big moments, Bautista Agut played much more clutch. So that's basically how it went down. And then all of a sudden you're at match point, Bautista Agut wins, flexes on everyone, and it's over. As far as reasons going into this, Djokovic was asked after the tournament, not by me, because if you didn't see, go to the community section, you can see one of his post-match conferences where I actually asked a couple of the questions. It's tagged in the community thing. He didn't like one of my questions, and that's pretty funny, and you can check that out. But he was asked, what's affecting him? Is there stuff off court? And he said, well, to one question, he said, there's always a lot going on in my life. And then he also said another question, there's way too much going on off court, and it has affected me. So we don't know what that's about. Is it because he's on the Players Council? Is it family stuff? It's tough to speculate from a guy, but obviously his life's a little bit crazy, and he's letting that affect him on court because he didn't seem fully himself. But he also got beat just by a better player today or yesterday. So that's how Djokovic went down, which opens up the top half of the draw an insane amount. Leaves lots of opportunity for young brothers named Felix Auger-Aliassime, or Borna Coric, or RBA, or Isner. So Federer beat Medvedev today. 8 unforced errors from Federer, 22 winners, and 70% about first serves in. So that is an absolute recipe for domination from Federer. 70% of his first serves in, meaning his serve is clicking again. He's becoming a lot more comfortable on this Miami Open court, which is big and weird and different because it's inside the Miami Dolphins stadium. So Federer's looking extremely good, destroyed Medvedev. And now he's definitely, I would say, the favorite. Could anyone disagree with that? He's playing Kevin Anderson next, who, Kevin Anderson, I interviewed as well. He said, welcome to the Slice, as you already saw. He's not feeling his best. He's made it this far to the quarterfinals of the Miami Open, which is pretty great for him because he hasn't been playing much in 2019 because he was sick and injured. So he's going to be scratching to get back at it, but I think he's not going to have played enough to really be comfortable there with Federer, who seems to be peaking, and that's not going to be good for Anderson. So Anderson versus Federer, I'm saying Federer should win pretty easily in that one and make it to the semis. But let's start back at the top. So we got Bautista Agut versus Isner, who's actually playing right now, and Isner won the first set. So I'm calling Isner to win this. This will come out after the match. But Isner's looking really good. His serve, it's all about the serve for Isner, and it's really working, obviously. With playing somebody like Federer or someone like that, they're going to be better returners, so it's going to have to come down to more of that. And I haven't had a good look at what he's doing, but he is the defending champ, so I think that does give him a bit of mojo. He also seemed like a really awesome dude when I got to talk to him in person there. He just seems super chill and like American. I don't know, just seems like someone that I relate to because he's English is, I don't know, English is his first language. He just seems like a guy I would walk down the street by here and chat with, except that he's like 6'10". I don't know, 6'9". He's a beast. He's an absolute beast. But I'm calling Isner coming through that one. You got the result might already be out. Then we got Felix Auger-Aliassime versus Coric. Now, if you haven't heard about Felix Auger-Aliassime, you've been kind of sleeping because there's so much hype around this kid right now. He's 18 years old. He's from Canada and is a beast. He's built like kind of like a bull, like elk, like just like a deer. He's just like kind of skinny, but like tall and strong, like really strong legs. And he's got like a complete game, no weaknesses, great backhand, forehand, serve, everything. We're super athletic. Coric has been a pro and he's been on the scene. He's been a young gunner for a little bit longer. His serve looked really good against Nick Kyrgios, so I think his serve and defense could hurt Felix. But I think all the Felix hype, this young kid coming up, it must make these players that he's playing a little bit tighter. They're like, I don't want to lose to this young kid. I don't want to be another victim of the next gen. But Coric is kind of the next gen, so we'll see if that makes him tight. But I think Coric, should step. I'm actually calling Coric taking this one. What he did to Nick Kyrgios was pretty inspired, I thought. So I'm calling Coric in that one. I already talked about Federer Anderson, and then we got Shapovalov versus TFO. Shapovalov took out Tsitsipas in the last match late at night, and he showed his ice in his veins, and he was balling out. I actually watched them practice like side by side. I was like in the middle of their courts in Miami, and Shapovalov looked like he's hitting the ball a lot more cleanly than TFO, but they're both in the quarterfinals, so they've obviously been doing equally as well. Shapovalov had some pretty big lulls when I was watching him versus Evans, but maybe he's starting to peak, and I think if they're both playing well, I'm taking Shapovalov in this. But because TFO is such a great defender, he's so fast, he could frustrate Shapovalov. So if Shapovalov gets frustrated too much, it could be over in 2 for TFO. But if Shapovalov is playing clutch like he did against Tsitsipas, I'm calling Shapovalov in that match. So that's a quick look at the quarterfinal matchups. It's getting exciting down in Miami. Djokovic is out. Things are going crazy. The Sunshine Double. It's just I think this is, if Federer is to somehow lose to Anderson or to one of Shapovalov or TFO in the semifinals, this tournament could be very important for it would be the first time that Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal hasn't been in the final of one of these in a long time, I think, in a Masters 1000. It could be a start of the changing of the guard. I don't want to overhype it all too much, but the next gen might be here in a bigger way than we think right now. And I saw a lot of the good young guys at the tournament, and the future is extremely bright for tennis. So that's exciting. Who I'm talking about, I got to interview these guys. Felix, he's just like, his confidence is like he doesn't seem surprised at all that he's here, which is like you should be when you're 18 probably. He doesn't seem surprised that he's in the quarterfinals of the Miami Open. He's like, yeah, I've been preparing for this my whole life. I'm ready to ball. So that's pretty crazy to see. That's the type of swagger a real champion has, I think. So guys like him, Hubert Hurkacz, who he beat earlier. And I talked about earlier, that guy beat Dominic Thiem. Lots of young ballers here. Shapovalov. It's great. So tennis is in good hands, and the Miami Open is lit. Let me know what you guys think about these matchups. Think about why Djokovic lost. Think about what you thought about my questions to Djokovic in the comment section below, and we'll chat down there. But thanks for watching The Slice. Make sure to subscribe. And if I've brought you any value at all ever, click the link below and check out Front Row and consider partnering with us so we can make tennis coverage better. Love you guys. See you soon. Thanks for watching, folks. Click here to watch another video. Click here to subscribe, and click here to sign up for Front Row.